as your Northern energy work, do something positive with it. You know, go for a long brisk walk, or get empowered by below them, being polite.
Yeah. Or tidying, or creative writing, or...
Let it serve you.
Yeah. Anger can be a really good energy to get things done.
Oh, that's a bit of a relief.
Yeah.
That was quite powerful.
Yeah.
Bubbling up like a volcano.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so next. We need to calm down the reticular activating system again.
I just got a shot of triple coffee.
Yeah, acetylcholine.
Coffee by any other name.
Yeah, I was just thinking, the thing about anger is also that we've been taught from a very young age to suppress it. So then when we suppress it, we try to suppress not just the emotion, but how we feel about something. So therefore we never get to express that, because if we expressed it, we'd be angry. So therefore you don't actually get to have those conversations that then shape your world around what it is you were angry. So you might just think the anger's about, say, the bullies, you know, when you were 8.5 or 10 or 15 or whenever. But the anger is really about a loss of control, or feeling helpless, or, you know, taking measures into your own hands and feeling irresponsible, you know. So it's about finding those things and going, okay, I was annoyed at the bullies, I wasn't allowed to express it. For example, this is just an example. But if you don't actually look at that anger and why you're in anger and what you felt underneath that anger, those same patterns can then replay themselves throughout your life. So that feeling of helplessness, your brain then wants to sort it out. So do you then attract those jobs and people in your world to actually allow you to deal with that helplessness? But if you don't sort out the pattern, you just keep having those same human beings come back in over and over again.
And judging by the throat chakra, you've swallowed a lot of things you would have liked to have said over many years, which we all do. Sorry, I just need to cough.
I might just throw in a thyroid bone, wake it all up. Release, release, release. And this is where creative writing can be really powerful as well. Something coming through?
Oh, it's just a lot of anger. That's
yeah, okay.
Yeah, anger and why didn't I say it, and wish I'd been able to say it. Beating myself up a little bit here. Sometimes it's not just able to be said at the time, but we can still let it out now.
Yeah, and you really need those, I believe, you need those people in your life who you can say absolutely anything to, because just having a third-party perspective sometimes is so beneficial. And I'm not talking psychiatrist or psychologist, although that's sort of useful as well sometimes, but I'm talking more just someone who you can go blah, and then they go, that's not the way it is. You know, so that you can be brought back down to earth when you're thinking something is a truth, but it may not be a truth. It's your truth in that moment, but your moment is based on hurt and anger and whatever is going on. So sometimes, yes, it's your truth, but it might not be the truth that's driving everything.
And just that person to let you spurt it all out without even judging it. Just think, oh, that's
Yeah.
better, you got that out. Let's go have a drink.
Yes.
Or go walking or whatever.
Still something else. It's locking. Do you still feel like there's something else in there?
Yeah, it's just still a bit, definitely.
Okay, so we'll put in the cranial injury complex combo. Throat chakra combo. So throat connects with the hyoid and the parietals and the thyroid. Okay, but also the bronchioles. So let's stack in lung energy, hold back. And of course, when we're feeling panicked and anxious, we don't breathe as deeply as we should. And thyroid, hold back, don't let me lift up. Hold back, don't let me lift up. Yeah, so it's right, so the throat chakra energy is affecting the lungs, the thyroid. Okay. And then is that combination in first, second or third stage stress. And hold, well, first or third. And hold, yeah, third stage stress. Chronic fatigue of the throat chakra. So chronic fatigue of the speaking your mind chakra, telling your truth.
It's like that. Sometimes it's just easier to, we get this belief it's easier just to say nothing when it's not, that's not good energy. So we just keep it in there.
Even if you get in the car, although in London maybe there's no car, but can't do it in the taxi, it's probably not the same, or the bus. But finding somewhere you can do that.
I don't really like singing, but even some singing, if you like singing, or toning, if you're into toning, that would be good.
Toning?
Yeah, just doing voice toning, and sometimes it doesn't sound good because that's what it needs to be to loosen things up. It needs to sort of be a bit off tone to break it up, how frequency works.
Yay for the neighbours.
You can tone softly, but don't know whether you go to any sound healings, might be a good thing to look into, some Tibetan bowls or the crystal bowl healings, if you can find anything local, that might be a nice thing to do for yourself. That feels better.
Yeah. I was just thinking the Hare Krishnas, you know, doing like the Sunday feast or whatever is the equivalent in the UK. Sort of the dancing and the singing and just, you know, rejoicing in a weird and wonderful way.
There's a lot of good crystal bowl things on YouTube as well, if you just want to have a look at some of those. They're really nice.
Yeah, right, crystal as well.
Yeah, the crystal bowls, the crystal bowls are huge.
Yeah, so there's an energy mismatch to anger going on, so your brain is really having a hard time going, I'm allowed to be angry. It's like your every cell in your body is going, no, anger's bad.
Hence the fingers like, oh!
Yeah, it's like your body's rebelling.
Really resisting it. So I'm just doing some, it's okay in the background here.
Release, release, release.
Yeah. It's almost like it's a fear, if I speak my truth, I'm going to be in trouble with someone who's important in your life as a child. Which then carries through.
And there's a real culture in some workplaces that either allows or totally allows nothing in relation to speaking, even speaking up. You know, I've had times when I've spoken my truth, it's taken such a huge emotional trauma to make me speak my truth. And I know I'm speaking louder than normal, but people have heard it as really angry, whereas for me, it's not based on anger at all. For me, it's based on that emotional, the amount of emotion behind it that had to be there before I was able to speak my truth. I think I was married 25 years before Jason got that.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm not angry.
You did not.
I'm emotional.
Yeah, so it's better to speak it while it's not at that stage.
Yeah, definitely.
How many glasses you've got in the kitchen to throw?
Go to a Greek wedding. That'll sort it out. Okay, so the PVSS is showing up as clear at the moment. Let's see where that throat chakra's at again, because I thought there might have been some survival stuff in relation to the throat chakra, but it was really that energy mismatch and big amygdala stuff. And just trying to get you to think about anger in a different way, and don't forget depression is internalized rage and anger. Okay, so in, hold back, beautiful. Hold, good. Hold, lovely. Okay, yeah, wanting to run away from anger. Good.
I feel the energy shift, then I could start to smile.
Nice. Okay, so now I'm going to check the celestial circuit. Base chakra's showing, but I haven't checked celestial yet. And hold.
Where are you?
Yeah, hello. Hello, little Kiki. Okay, so it's the right, so it's somewhere on the right. No, it's just straight to the right. Yeah, it's not too far off actually. It's only about 2 foot to the right. So bizarrely enough, that's not too bad. But your center, so your center of gravity is more out here than where it should be. So we just need to bring that back into balance. Sinoux's a master of paying attention to the words you say, and you know, when your body is out of balance, it's like we say things like, oh man, I'm beside myself, or
Just don't feel myself today.
don't
when
feel
we're not.
myself, yeah. How are you today? Oh, I'm not really myself today. You know, so it's those sort of things where our center of gravity can be off, or we're taking on fragments of other people's stuff, or our energy is fragmented. That's something I was going to do actually.
Yes, we actually tell ourselves, we don't hear ourselves give our own answers sometimes. I'm just going, get back in here, just say, get back in here.
Center of gravity, hold, and celestial circuit. And hold, beautiful. Okay.
Honey, I'm home.
good, 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 good. Now, because of the foggy brain, I just want to check a few things with the thyroid and see whether or not, well, just a few core things. So let's have a look. Firstly, we'll get it up and running, make sure it's still up. Hold, no. So we need some energy. Right, hold. Let's throw that into Surrogate. So because the thyroid sits around the esophagus or the larynx, it's almost like a little sponge. So there's a few things that we need to do to keep the thyroid nice and healthy. One of them is drinking purified water. I'm not sure what's in water over there, but over here, you know, chlorine and fluoride and that sort of thing. The thyroid is a big fat sponge for them, so it just sops them up and can stop the release of TSH or stop the conversion of hormones. Hold back, beautiful. So if you get thyroid tests and your TSH, in Australia, I'm not sure what the numbers are, hopefully they're the same over there, but what the optimal number is for the TSH is 1.84, so pretty much that's where it should be. For every 1 point, say 2.84, 3.84, it gives higher risk of everything, you know. So when our thyroid is dysfunctional, we have higher risk of, you know, breast cancer and chronic fatigue and chronic pain and ability to detox and ability to digest and all sorts of things. So thyroid's pretty important. If you get the reverse T3 checked, that's a sign that we're not converting T4 to T3 correctly, and reverse T3 is basically a toxic version of T3. So now we've got the thyroid up and running, I'm going to check in relation to drinking water. Hold back nice and strong. Okay. Hold back nice and strong. Hold. So just making sure you check your filters regularly and that you swap them when they need to, because the regular drinking water is not good for your thyroid. A couple of other really big things are casein and gluten. So I'm not sure if you know those statistics, but lots of people with Hashimoto's or Graves' disease, it's about almost like 90% of people feel better off gluten, and it's about 80% of people feel better off casein. So let's check in relation to gluten and gliadin. And hold. Oh, it tried.
Yeah.
Hold. Okay.
It's like sometimes. Not every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So once again, organic always makes everything better. So in a lot of our grains, there is 2.5 to 3 times more gluten than there used to be 100 years ago, and the genetically modified grains cause cell death of the gut wall. So then you end up with these partially digested protein molecules traveling around the bloodstream, and your thyroid ends up being like collateral damage. So in relation to gluten and gliadin, and hold, in relation to casein, hold. No, I was thinking not the Cold Chisel song.
That's what I thought. As soon as you said the first one, I've been singing casein.
Okay, so chlorine, fluoride definitely, the gluten definitely. Let's check in relation to eggs. You know, it's about 50% of people that have issues with egg protein. Hold. No. Hold. No. Okay, good. Genetically modified soy. Hold. so soy's not so bad. Good, good, good.
Dairy?
Oh, that's the casein.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, they could. Oh, I suppose I could check in relation to FODMAPs. Oh, hello. Oh, right. That's not happy. Okay, so FODMAPs are fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. So basically they are carbohydrates in foods that feed bad bacteria in the gut. So there might actually be something going on where a probiotic would be a really good idea, and something even to change the gut bacteria combination. So in Australia we've got my favourite so basically that causes SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and my favourite product in Australia is called Bactrex. It's a Metagenics product, so you could even Google that and see what the ingredients are and sort of try to find something a bit similar. So what I tend to do with people is say have them on anywhere from 3 to 6 a day for a fortnight, just to bring the load down, and do like a 80% FODMAP, low FODMAP diet, so 80% of the time, which is, sort of allowing yourself a naughty meal now and then seeing if you feel better. And if you start feeling better, less foggy brain and that sort of thing, then those bacteria are actually messing. So when we kill them, we create LPSs, lipopolysaccharides, and those can get across the blood-brain barrier and into the brain, so it can make us feel really foggy. Bugs are a bugger in relation to FODMAPs. And hold. So what that means is that basically FODMAPs can cause any gut symptoms: bloating, burping, belching, wind, flatulence, diarrhea, constipation, any of that sort of delightful stuff. Okay. And with the thyroid as well, I'll just check in relation to any and all viral particles, because there's so many viruses that are linked to thyroid things. So things like Ross River virus and Epstein-Barr virus, glandular fever, So viral particles, there's lots of them. But once again, you can't, I'm a big believer in boosting the immune system and getting the immune system functioning better, as opposed to spending thousands of dollars on testing to find out which particular bugs, because honestly, from my perspective, you do the same thing. What do you need to boost your immune system so you can fight all viral stuff? You need zinc, you need vitamin A, C, E, you need, so things, enough vitamin C will do it. There's been a couple of major studies done with vitamin C and things like swine flu, and so vitamin C in big enough doses has the ability to kill just about any virus. Same with vitamin D. Vitamin D deficiency is really, UK. I wonder if being in that hemisphere of the world is really messing with you as well. Get your vitamin D levels checked. I think once again in Australia our blood level that we're looking for is 50, and I think it's nanomoles, but I might be wrong. But someone with any history of anxiety, depression, and thyroid, especially Hashimoto's, you need higher than that. You need like 80 to 100. Because the need is higher because the cell membrane receptors aren't working as well.
It's almost like it's because it's the same hemisphere, but it's like it's that quadrant of the hemisphere that she's in that's causing a bit of havoc.
Yeah, okay.
Like the left side of the, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Let's check lack of sunshine. Hold. It's coming up to summer at the moment now in the UK, isn't it? But yeah, so lack of sunshine is a bugger. So I don't know whether you're working really long hours or something like that. Another thing you can do, by the way, and this is a bit of a weird thing, but you can get because if you're not waking up when the sun's getting up and it we're supposed to go outside, it wakes up our pineal gland. So what you can do is have a torch next to your toilet. So when you go to the loo in the morning, you can get your torch and shine it on your third eye. Yes, I know that's weird, But what it does is wakes up your pineal gland. So that helps the conversion in the morning of melatonin to serotonin for your day ahead. And then when you're going back to bed, you need to have all your blue lights, you know, your radios, your... So many people are addicted. And I know I'm definitely one of these people. I'm on my phone all the time because of Facebook and messages and emails and all sorts of stuff. But you've just got to stop it. Stop it. So it's sort of like you've got to pay attention to the fact that your brain requires darkness in order to convert your daytime serotonin to your nighttime melatonin. And if you're not getting good night's sleep, then that'll definitely be messing with your fuzzy brain.
Especially there where the daylight hours are so few, so short.
Yeah, so lack of sunshine's messing with the immune system and the thyroid. Lack of sunshine. And hold.
Quick weekend in Spain.
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely?
The joys of living over there. You just spend an hour on a plane and be in another country. Unlike Australia.
No. 6 hours to Perth. Our Perth, not your Perth. Yeah, so the lack of sunshine is also messing with the amygdala, making it harder just to release that serotonin, so just the release of it. And with SIBO going on in the small intestine, there could also be a lack of release of serotonin from your small intestine, because we're supposed to make about, guesses are anything from 70 to 95% of the serotonin is made in the small intestine. So when it's inflamed or underactive or exhausted, then it doesn't make as much serotonin as it should. Okay, Kiki, we're wrapping up now. And hold. Anything coming through, last tips or hints or thoughts, Sinoux?
Yeah, just, again, I just keep seeing those crystal healing bowls.
Yeah.
Really would recommend that for you, and just
And like you say, they're on
self-nurturing.
YouTube as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just more self-nurturing. You're doing, you're deserving of it.
Yeah. And it's safe to do it. It is safe to let go of these problems. And hold. I deserve to let go of these problems. Hold. I trust that I can let go of these problems. Beautiful. Okay. Sunshine, purified water. Get those blood tests for your thyroid. Making sure that you allow yourself to express yourself in whatever way that works for you. Sometimes that can be an email. Just say, for example, if a boss says something that you don't agree with, don't, sort of have a think about it. Go, well, I can't say it to their face because blah, blah, blah. But maybe if I write an email, you said this today, I'm not quite sure I agree with that, blah, 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 blah. Respectfully yours.
Maybe a letter so you don't accidentally press send.
Yeah, a live letter. Old school, I love it.
Throw away the letter.
Well, actually, even just writing it is really powerful. But certainly when people have cars, I think, ranting in a car is one of the best stress releases. Although one of my clients, she used to put a smile on her face when she was ranting in the car to try to calm down her road rage.